Look, I just got water on my shirt. What up, YouTube? Welcome back to Trendy TV, and welcome if you're new to my channel. Y'all already know what's up because you read the caption. I've been 20 for like a month now, so you know, I say I'm certified to give advice on how to be a teenager because I've done it. Yeah. If somebody could sit me down and tell me all the stuff that I knew now, then a lot of things would have been way easier. So I'm making this video so that it can be easier for you guys. One thing that I had to learn to do from the very beginning was to love myself and just to be, you know, confident in me, because I used to be real self-conscious. Like, I just didn't like my body. And it was because, you know, like beauty standards and stuff like that, other people thought was like a nice body at the time. Around that time, you know, like people hitting puberty and stuff, and they're getting breasts and hips and stuff and booty, and I was like, God, did you forget about me? So I just felt some type of way because like at my school, dudes would always be talking about the girls and bodies like that and stuff, and then like they would make you feel bad if you was in shape like that, you know, like, oh, you flat chested or you don't have no butt. Like, it just made me feel bad, not only just seeing that, but because I got bullied for it because I was freaking a kid. So why would I be legs and hips and thighs? Baby, y'all just got out of 5th grade. What do y'all want from me? And it just made me so sad and not like my body for a while. And I had to realize that just because you're not shaped or don't look what people consider to be beautiful doesn't mean that you're not pretty too. So don't let like other people's standard of beauty determine what beauty is. What makes you beautiful is that God created you beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. He created all of us beautiful. It doesn't matter if you don't look like this girl that's getting all the hype. That doesn't mean that you're not pretty, you know, and we shouldn't put our validation in if people are praising features that look like ours. The world always changes. People's opinions always changes. The trends change. Beauty standards change because the trends are changing. There was some point where being skinny, like having nothing, was in. Like, I was in to be thick. Thick with a Q-U-E. It's always changing is my point. And God never changes. How God feels about you never changes. What he says about you never changes. It's so nerve-wracking to go looking into the world for validation, for trying to find your identity in the world and who you are and what you should act like based on what's trending. Like, that's just, and it's always changing, so it never stays the same. Get your validation from God. Get your confidence from God. Listen to God about who he says you are. He says that you're beautiful. He says that you're worth it, that you're amazing, and he just loves you so much. So don't go out into the world trying to look for that. Just go to God for that. If God says that about you at the end of the day, that's it. That's who you are. You're beautiful. Get your identity from him, who you are from him. Because if you try to go into the world finding your identity, you're not going to find anything, because the world's going to tell you something different every second. It's every second, it's the opposite. Bullying is so lame, y'all. Like, I just don't understand. Mind your business. People who be out here bullying be projecting like their insecurities, like they calling you ugly because they think they ugly. That's how they feel about themselves. What they got going on ain't got nothing to do with you. Although they harassing you, I'll pray for bullies. Gonna feel some type of way of people talking bad about you, you know? So, but the key is how you respond to that and where you get your value from. You just gotta go back to that at the end of the day and be like, yeah, I feel some type of way because y'all being mean to me, but at the end of the day, God says that I'm gorgeous, so I'm finna go with his word, because I mean, he's God. Know that you guys are beautiful and made in God's image, and he don't make no mistakes. So don't be out here calling yourself ugly, stupid, dumb, like that negative stuff. Don't be talking about yourself like that, okay? Because that's not how God talks about you. So be nice to yourself too. Don't be a bully to yourself. Love yourself as well and tell yourself these things. And really look at yourself the way that God sees you. And just be nice to yourself. Because at the end of the day, you can be your own bully. You don't want to be bullying yourself. Real already ghetto and probably tell you a bunch of stuff that's very mean. Why do it to yourself? Like, at the end of the day, if you don't love yourself, like, it's gonna be real hard out here because you out here bullying yourself with other people. Tell yourself kind things and encouraging things, and just encourage yourself. Encourage yourself in the Lord. Yeah, I've always just been like a real caring person, because I just care so much about people. Because like, people are so precious and just God's creation. I just love everyone. But like, just being kind and kind of like naive in some ways, your kindness can be taken for granted sometimes. Really, like, have boundaries at the end of the day. Really having boundaries is sticking up for yourself. You're like, oh, I don't want to be mean, but that's not being mean. Be nice to other people, do other stuff for people too, yes, but there's limits to that. Boundaries, baby. Don't let people take your kindness for granted, because sometimes people see that you're just a nice person and they'll really try to use you for that because they know you have a good heart. But you need to know when to say no and just to have boundaries and not let people use you for that. But still having a kind heart, but just don't be letting anything slide, letting anything go, because at that point you just let folks walk over you. Don't do that. And it's just good to be kind, because why be out here having nasty attitude and just being mean and ill towards people? Like, that's so whack. Y'all see my nail broken? Stuff that like really impacts you in life, just in general, is the relationships you have. Whether it be the relationship with your family, with your friends, boyfriend or girlfriend, you know, like, it's really relationships that be bringing the foolishness or the fun, the good, the bad, like, depending on your relationship with people. So when you're having friends and stuff, it's really important that you choose it's really important that you choose wisely who you're going to be friends. Shut the door.
I'm about to tell your viewers you sitting here for wearing pants.
At this point in the video, I was hot, so I took my pants off. Choose, like, good friends, you know, and who you're going to be around, because at the end of the day, if you choose crappy friends, crappy stuff going to happen to you. There's going to be drama, a lot of stuff breaking out, and they'll pull you into drama. Watch how your friends treat their friends and other people in your friend group, or just people in general. If you and your friends are always hanging out, right, and say one of your other friends leave, and as soon as they leave, one of your friends is just like talking about them. They're like, oh, I can't stand her. Why she keep coming here? You know, just like bad mouthing her. But then you see them being all buddy and cool with them like the next day, or just consistently. As soon as they leave again, they do the same thing again, like being fake. So like, if your friend is treating somebody else like that, and they always talking behind their back, but when they with that person, they acting like they friends with them. They posted up on Instagram with them, and they all buddy. Do you think that they don't do the same thing to you? What you think they do when you leave? Most likely they're doing it to you too. So don't try to get them no excuse or no card to be like, oh well, she's only doing that to them, or he only treats them like that. Like, no, they're going to treat you like that too, and they see you like that too. Like, we don't have time to be giving people the benefit of the doubt and none of that stuff. Like, don't be doing all that. Don't be doing all that. They fake, period. Stop being friends with them. You also want to watch out for people who be obviously jealous of you, or who just be straight up hating on you, or they try to pass it off as a joke, or be saying slick comments. Don't be like, oh, am I tripping? Or did she say something that was kind of slick? Or am I tripping? Like, oh no, like, I'm just brushing it off. Like, no, don't brush it off. Pay attention to that stuff. Right now, my nail was broke. It's not that big of a deal. Your nail's broke, whatever. Say like I had a friend and we out with our other friends, and she's like, oh, look at Trinity with her raggedy broken nail. You need to fix that, Trinity. Like, stuff like that. Like, did you have to say all that? Did you have to call out my broken nail like that? A friend that will try to find anything wrong with you and emphasize it in front of other people. Typically, friends who do stuff like that, they be jealous of you. So they be trying to bring you down or make you seem like you not all that, because you are all that. But they want to make it seem like you not, because they jealous of you. And that's pitiful. So if you got friends who be doing stuff like that, then that's not your friend. And you need to, you know, cut that off. If you have a friend that's controlling, like, always in your business, they want to know what you got going on, who you talking to, who house you going over with, who you hanging with, stuff like that. Not all of this is your business. Like, pipe down. Like, why you want to know every detail about what I'm doing all the time, or who I'm with, or if they get mad when you hanging out with other people besides them, or you have another friend group or like group of friends, you know, like stuff like that. They try to be controlling. It's just weird. Like, don't have no friends like that who be trying to control what you got going on, because no. So don't have friends like that. Also, friends who encourage you to do things that you just know aren't right. Friends who just encourage you to do bad things. And for what? Like, why do you want to see me fight this person? Why do you want to see me get drunk? You know, why do you want to see me sleep with this person? Like, it just be weird. Not only because it's just bad in general, but they're pushing you to do these bad things and to put yourself in situations where you're not in your right mind and not in a good environment. So what do you think they're gonna do when stuff goes down? You think they're gonna be looking out for you when you drunk, something goes left, or just leave you somewhere passed out for you to get raped or something bad to happen to you? You know, like, you don't want to have friends like that. If stuff goes left, they're not gonna be there for you. Story about that girl who went to that hotel party and her friend set her up. and she ended up getting killed and in the freezer dead, like stuff like that. I'm sure her friends were pushing her to go to a party and get drunk and go to the hotel, you know, and cut a fool that night. There's so many qualities of not being a good friend, or like red flags that you have to look out for. I'll say just like use your discernment, really like follow God, you know, like ask God about the people in your life, the people that you're around, ask him to give you discernment. And discernment is pretty much just having the ability to know things without having any evidence, pretty much. I'm sure a lot of y'all have discernment, but you don't realize that, but you don't know that it's called discernment, or you don't know what to call it. You're just like, I just know, I just have a feeling about this, and you turn out being right, but you didn't have any evidence to back you up. You just knew. That's what discernment is. And God gives people discernment so that it just helps you navigate in life. So like with discernment, even like looking at your friend, you would know that that friend's talking about you behind your back, even though nobody's ever told you that that friend was talking about you behind your back, or you haven't heard any word about that, but you just know, like, it's just like something that's dropped in your spirit, and you like, she be talking mess about me when I'm not around. That's discernment right there. I'm not saying be paranoid, because there's a difference between being paranoid, like you just throwing stuff out of thin air just to say it. Like, no. I've been in some situations where my discernment would kick in. I'll be out somewhere, and then like I'll just get a feeling like you need to leave. Don't even go to that party. Like, don't even go hang around them or fool around with this person, you know, like stuff like that. So discernment is like really good to have, and I suggest that y'all pray and ask God to give you discernment, because it will save you from so many situations. And even if you're in a situation, you can use discernment to get out and not have to deal with no foolishness, because baby, it be coming in handy. Okay, you just be knowing stuff. You be like, I don't know why I know this, but I don't want to stick around to find out. I'm finna get out. Nobody wants to have a bad friend or friends who like are fake and just not good for them. But you also have to be honest with yourself and real with yourself, and like just know when you're not being a good friend too. Because having accountability, really like looking at yourself and being like, okay, am I being a good friend to people around me? Am I being a good brother, sister, you know, mom, dad, whatever you got going on to those around me? We have to take accountability for yourself and your actions, because what you do and how you treat people affects other people, of course. So speaking of stuff to look for in a bad friend, if I listen to any of this stuff, you like, dang, low-key act like that, or I've done some of these things before, you know, take accountability for it. Sometimes we can do things or act a certain way that isn't good, you know, or we can be a bad friend to people. And at the end of the day, you don't have to keep being a bad friend. You don't have to keep having these bad habits and just not being a good person, really. You can always change. So you really just need to look at yourself sometimes and be like, am I being a toxic friend? Am I being a toxic person to the people around me? Because there's been times in my friendships and stuff that I realized that what I did wasn't right, you know, or I should apologize for this. I've had times where I had to apologize for some things, because I like to joke around a lot. Like, I'm goofy. There's times like where I would make jokes about stuff, or they'll feel some type of way about it, and I'll be like, oh, that made them feel some type of way. Apologize, and I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to joke about that again, because that's not something that's funny, and it hurt that person, so let me not bring that up again. Not only just admit it, but change from that. Don't just be like, yeah, I was messed up for joking about this, so I'm sorry, and then 2 days later joke about that same thing again that you had to apologize for earlier. Because at the end of the day, you really weren't sorry if you still continue that behavior. So not only taking accountability for it and knowing when to apologize, but knowing when to change and stop doing stuff, you know, because if it hurt that person's feelings, you joking about that, don't do it again. Because why would you do it again? Like, that's whack. People don't have to accept your apology. It's up to them if they want to forgive you, even if they don't accept your apology, or even if they don't want to be your friend no more. At the end of the day, you can only learn from your mistakes and really just change for the better.
Now, hold on. It was too much for one video, so it's going to be a part 2, and part 2 going to be on my channel. So y'all need to go ahead and look at that video if you want to know more advice. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to see some more Trinity on Trinity TV. I talk about God a lot in my videos, and if you're like, how do I become saved? This is how. And you can say this prayer and just believe it in your heart and, you know, change your life.